Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday and welcome back to Airdomo, our webinar series. I am Stephanie Gillison, co-founder of Airdomo, and Charles. Welcome
And
back.
I'm Charles Bornheimer. And Stephanie, I have a question. Have we been holding out on our viewers, on our audience?
Well, how so? I think we've covered some awesome places.
Well, yeah, of course, we did Mexico. We did Costa Rica. We had awesome episodes about wellness real estate, really interesting stuff about lifestyle stacking. But we have not yet done a deep dive on the one country in Latin America that checks virtually every box that a global property buyer is going to be interested in. We were talking about legal simplicity, dollar currency, no tax on foreign income, one of the most generous residency programs in the whole world, two ocean coastlines, and a cost of living that is just, gets everybody's attention.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're talking about Panama, you all. You're right, Charles. It deserves its own episode. I have enjoyed the last couple of weeks because I've been diving deep into having conversations all throughout Panama with some of the most amazing developers. And so today we're going to go deep into Panama City's urban luxury market, the Caribbean's magic, the mountain lifestyle, the Pacific surf scene, the residency pathways, and exactly why the country is having this genuine moment in 2026. And a lot is going on. Properties that we're going to reference are going to be live on Airdomo. So you're going to get a sneak peek today because they're not there quite yet, but we're going to give you a sneak peek because let me tell you something about Airdomo. Picture Costa Rica prices 20 years ago. That is what Panama is. And so when we go live with these properties on Airdomo, you're going to see beachfront condos starting at like 450,000, Charles. Are we going to get one, two, three, or four?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's dive into the fundamentals of what Panama makes Panama so special, and it's really based on an unusual combination of advantages and factors that you just don't see anywhere else. First off, most importantly, perhaps, is that foreign buyers have the same property rights as citizens in Panama. It's written into the Constitution. It's very, that makes it very safe and accommodating for international buyers. No special approvals are needed, no additional hurdles. You can just buy like a local. The one narrow exception there, which isn't really a huge factor for a lot of international buyers, is that if the land sits right on the national border, there's some special considerations there. But again, that doesn't really touch the markets that are likely to be, of interest to the international buyer. So overall, that equal footing you get with the locals is rare in Latin America and really rare like all over the world.
It is rare globally. I mean, it exists here in the United States where people come in and they buy, but everywhere else you hear us talking about the process, the applications, how you have to go through something, sometimes months to become a property owner. There, you don't have to worry about it. And here's the other thing about Panama, the currency. They use the US dollar. And they have since 1904. And Charles, that means I don't have to think about that exchange rate risk. There's no currency devaluation story that we have to wake up to, right? And then I also don't have to worry about how do I translate this money, right? I don't have to figure out if it's worth 30% less because of a political crisis. So for North American buyers especially, that's an enormous psychological and practical advantage that just makes us all feel safe when it comes down to it.
Absolutely, and the tax structure is another favorable factor. Panama has a territorial tax system, so income you earn outside Panama is not taxed in Panama at all. So for remote workers, investors, business owners, retirees with pensions, that's a really big factor. That money is safe, and domestically, the picture is very buyer friendly as well. The real estate gains are taxed at a flat 10%, and in practice, most sellers only pay a 3% of sale price advance, and that's kind of it. They treat that as final. That's very low, as you know, by global standards. And a primary residence pays no annual property tax on its first 120K of value, and only about 0.5% above that. There's no inheritance tax, and the overall, this makes for a set of factors that makes it about the lowest carrying cost in the whole region.
Absolutely. And fourth, Charles, is the economy. Panama runs the canal, as we all know, one of the most strategically official waterways in global trade. That generates stable, substantial government revenue that has been funding its infrastructure, its amazing healthcare and services. And that's why you're seeing all this amazing development that's going on. They've exploded with their expansion of airports. You can see over 87 direct flights going in and out of Panama City every single day. And so today, Panama looks more like Miami than it looks like Central America. And so that has a real financial hub that's happening. And it's, because it's a proper international airport today. And it's a multinational headquarters and the infrastructure that, has serious long-term residents, investors, interested, because that's what we need in order to sustain it.
Yeah, and I think one of the most exciting factors about Panama, above and beyond just the economics of it, is the overall diversity of the landscape and the culture and the types of markets that you can dive into. So today we're going to look at four very, very different Panama markets. We've got city luxury, we've got a Caribbean beach, we've got cloud forest mountain, and we've got Pacific surf. And so relative to its small size, Panama has one of the most geographically varied landscapes in the world. So whatever you're looking for, you're probably going to find it there. And every one of those markets that we're going to dive into has a very compelling story that's happening right now. So let's dive in.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about first Panama City, which literally it's two markets in one city. Panama City is the tale of the two property markets that couldn't be more different in feel. Both are compelling. The first is very modern, ultra-urban neighborhoods like Punta Pacifica, Punta Patilla, and Costa del Este, where gleaming high-rise condos are overlooking the bays of Panama with these amazing water views. And the city skyline is rivaling anything that you've seen in South Florida, okay? I mean, Charles, you saw the pictures of Punta Pacifica.
Punta Pacifica is really the premium address there in Panama City. You can find ocean view condos in well-established, really great buildings, running from as low as like the mid 400s up to $1 million plus. But for what you get there, you're getting full amenities, building security, bay views, proximity to everything that the city offers, from hospitals to schools to, of course, all the wonderful culture and entertainment and so forth. If you compare it to, someplace like, Miami, where you're getting it for a quarter of the price, it really starts to, open your eyes.
Absolutely, because so much of Florida has become unaffordable for many, right? And Panama City, look, its real estate is up about 4% year over year. So in 2026, that's where it came to. So driven by stronger rental demand, there's limited quality inventory in some of the best buildings and growing international buyer interest. So the city is growing as a regional hub. There's more multinational offices, there's more diplomatic. So there's more people moving there to work, and there is a real short-term rental market that is fueled by business travelers that need to go there for canal-related commerce as well too.
Yeah, and then so jumping to the other side of the story, there's Casco Viejo, which is a historic corridor, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is the other kind of Panama City, where it's cobblestone streets, it's colonial and early Republican architecture. This is coming from like the 1600s, so you get that sort of almost old European feel there. But you also have a very exciting and dynamic lifestyle. There's rooftop bars, there's amazing restaurants, boutique hotels, tons of art galleries. It's really, really an exciting and dynamic place to be. And so if Punta Pacifica is Panama City's Brickell, Casco Viejo is its Wynwood and South Beach kind of combined.
That's right. And property prices there do rival, they're very close to what's happening in Punta Pacifica on that per square meter basis. But the product is completely different because of the boutiqueness of it, the boutique apartments and restored colonial buildings, some with original tiled floors and those amazing cathedral ceilings. So it's one of the most architecturally distinctive neighborhoods in all of Latin America. And Airdomo, look, we have listings there for buyers who truly want something unique and have an appreciation for history.
Yeah, and if you're looking for, the accessible entry into Panama City, El Cangrejo and San Francisco, you can find very, very well maintained upscale condos there from in the mid 100s up into like the 300s. So those are great rental markets, very walkable, great infrastructure, and those are really smart choices for buyers who want urban Panama without the Punta Pacifica price point.
Absolutely. And now let's go into the Caribbean paradise of Bocas del Toro. This is Panama's Caribbean jewel, you all. There is a group of islands in the northwestern corner of the country with the kind of turquoise water and the jungle draped coastlines that make Instagram accounts go viral. I know Ben, our marketing director, is going to be posting a lot of this stuff. So you better be tuned into our social because we're going to be showcasing it there as well. But it's been a backpacker favorite for decades because literally it's been harder to get to. But now with the infrastructure and the expansion of highways, the market has quietly matured into something that is so much more sophisticated.
Yeah, but still very accessible on the price side. You can get beachfront from the 300K range. Of course, that can go up well over $1 million for the most premium positions, but still a relative bargain. Inland, you can be there for mid hundreds up into the 400 500 range. One important note though for buyers, this is really, really important. Always when you're looking at properties there, you want to purchase titled property in Bocas. There's a rights of possession market there that makes things look cheaper than they are, but there's a very real legal risk there. So if you are looking in there, make sure you are aware of that distinction. Come to Airdomo if you're uncertain to learn a little bit more, or connect with us to have somebody experienced with that on your side. That is definitely one thing you want to watch out for.
Absolutely. Bocas is also one of the few places where you can generally do the overwater bungalow thing on a budget that makes the Maldives look absurd. I mean, the Maldives, is amazing, guys. But the short-term rental market has become sophisticated. International travelers, digital nomads, and the surf tourists create year-round occupancy that owners are increasingly monetizing through professionally managed rental programs with those overwater bungalow things. So some of those pictures you're seeing aren't just the Maldives anymore. It's actually Panama.
Yeah. And now let's we go away from the waterfront and up into the beautiful sort of cloud forest of the mountains. Boquete is one of the most famous expat destinations of all Latin America, and it's earned that reputation through its just sheer beauty and sort of magnificent landscape. Highland Valley at 1,200 meters in the Chiriqui province, ringed by cloud forests. You got coffee farms, the peak of Volcan Baru, the highest mountain in Panama. The temperatures stay very, very comfortable in the 60s and 70s. So it's not, it feels like another world up there in these cloud forests. If you've ever been, it's an enlightening experience. It's basically spring all year round.
Yeah, the expat community in Boquete is established. They're English speaking and genuinely warm. There's international medical facilities, a real dining and cultural scene, and an infrastructure that decades of North American retirees have helped build out. Homes typically run $100,000 to $400,000 US, depending on size and position. And a 3-bedroom house in Central Boquete can be had for $250,000 to $380,000. So for comparison, that buys a studio in most coastal Florida markets right now.
Yeah, and Boquete is where the pensionado visa story really comes to play. We're going to dive into that a little bit more in a minute, but we're talking about one of the most generous retirement residency programs in the entire world, and Boquete is a great option if that's what you're exploring.
So now, Charles, I want to move to the Pacific surf town, Pedasí. It's one that surprises people who don't even know Panama very well. A small fishing village in the Azero Peninsula on the Pacific coast. It's about 4 hours from Panama City with world-class surf breaks, a genuine community feel, and land prices that are still unbelievable, available for $100,000 for titled lots.
Yeah, if you want to pick like an early mover, option out of the 4 that we've looked at today, this is the Pedasí is it. It's probably where Boquete was 20 years ago. It's like this is the hot new get on the block. Infrastructure is getting there. I mean, it's not as complete as it is in the other markets we talked about, but it is definitely improving. There's a boutique hotel scene that's sort of burgeoning there. International buyers are starting to take notice and starting to show up. This is the window where you can buy beachside land in a world-class surf destination for under 6 figures in a window that will not be open forever, for sure. So, we've seen it happen. These things, these places can get big very fast, get popular very fast, and this is one that's really on the cusp right now. So worth your attention.
Absolutely. So let's talk about what makes Panama uniquely powerful for global buyers, the residency programs. Because Panama doesn't just let you buy property easy, right? I mean, it's so easy to do that. We've talked about that, but they want you there. And they have built some of the most generous residency incentives of any country in the world.
Yeah, that's right. There are 3 main routes to residency. The first is the pensionado visa, which is a now pretty much legendary retirement program. It requires only $1,000 a month of guaranteed lifetime pension income, and that alone qualifies you for permanent residency immediately. So that could be Social Security, that could be a government pension, that could be a corporate annuity. Any of those work. And on top of that, if you buy property worth at least $100K, the income threshold drops to only $750 a month, $750 a month. It's arguably probably the most generous retirement program anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and what it comes with is remarkable because under Panama's Law 6, the pensiano residents received a 25% discount on all utility bills, 20% off of medical consultations, and then 10% off prescription medicines, plus discounts on flights, hotels, restaurants, and entertainment. So for a retiree living on fixed income, those discounts stretch $1 in ways you don't find anywhere else. That's kind of funny because think about that. Retirement in that country equals, it's almost like becoming a member of AAA.
Right. And there's another route too, which is called the Friendly Nations visa. Panama keeps a list of about 50 countries whose citizens qualify. Most of Europe, the United States, Canada, Australia, and there's some others, purchase any property for 200K or more using the funds from abroad, and you're in the club. So here's the part that people sometimes do get wrong, though. This one is a 2-step path now. Your temporary residence card usually comes in 3 to 6 months. And after you've held it for 2 years, you do get the permanent residency.
Yeah. And the third is the qualified investor visa. This is the premium track for buyers who want permanent residency from day one with absolutely zero waiting period. So right now, a real estate purchase of $300,000 qualifies. But timing matters here because that $300,000 threshold is a temporary reduction currently set to rise to $500,000 this year on October 15th. So the October 15th, 2026, it's going to go up to $500,000. So this is a real window, not a sales line. Okay, you all. So we've got plenty of properties that are going to go live in that price point of $300,000. And so any more considering it should confirm the current figure before moving. You get immediate permanent residency, full rights, and a path to citizenship after 5 years if you choose to pursue it.
Yeah, and keep the tax picture in mind when you do all of this too. Panama uses territorial taxation, as we said before. Any income you earn outside Panama is not taxed by Panama at all. Real estate gains carry a flat 10% rate, but many sellers will just settle that at 3% of the sale price. No inheritance tax, no annual property taxes, the annual property taxes are among the lowest in the region. Put it all together, it's the tax architecture is really one of the most favorable in the world for a global buyer.
So Charles, I think what we've talked about today is when you put all this together, the property rights, the dollar currency, the tax structure, the residency programs, the geographic diversity, the price points relative to comparable destinations that we've covered. I mean, honestly, what's the assessment here?
Well, let's look at it in the clear light. Panama has probably the most complete package in Latin America, and it's maybe it's not even that close. We've covered Costa Rica, which is spectacular and beautiful, but the cost is there. It's been a
more
destination
expensive.
for a while, and it's an expensive place. Mexico, of course, has Riviera Maya, and several other great products and destinations, but there's a peso risk. There's limitations to your residency incentives. Places like Colombia have wonderful attractions too, but there's an infrastructure gap there. Panama solves all of those, and it gives you the legal clarity, it gives you the dollar stability, tax efficiency, lots of residency pathways. Those are the factors that really, I think, bring it to the top.
Absolutely. And the market is moving. Panama is up 4% year over year. Bocas del Toro is maturing. Boquete's expat community keeps drawing more retirees who tell their friends. And Pedasí, that early mover opportunity is on the radar of exactly the kind of sophisticated buyer who finds us, on Airdomo.
Yeah. Exactly. And so on an Airdomo today, you're going to find the full range. We've got the Panama City condos in the 100K range, which are that fantastic entry level. We've got everything up through the Punta Pacifica, ultra luxury properties. There's beachfront and island positions in Bocas del Toro. We've got the mountain homes in the Boquete, and there's some land on the Pacific coast near Pedasí. So our concierge team knows this market very, very well. They know the right lawyers, the right developers, and the right process for due diligence. So it's a great first step to touch base with Airdomo and get that search going in earnest.
Absolutely. So if you've ever said to yourself, I want a second home somewhere warm, somewhere safe, somewhere I can actually afford, where my dollar goes further than it has anywhere else, Panama's the answer you've been looking for, you all. It's been the answer for a long time. The world's just now paying closer attention to it than it ever has before.
Yeah, and before everyone else starts taking attention, this is the right moment for you to be looking.
Well, and I appreciate everybody. We love you joining us every Wednesday on Airdomo. Head to airdomo.com to browse Panama listings. They will be live here probably early next week. We'll keep you posted on social media. If you're not following us on social media, make sure you go to our Insta, LinkedIn, or Facebook. We're there, and keep checking in. Sign up for our newsletter when you go to airdomo.com, because once we get those properties live, we'll make sure to put those in the newsletter so that there will be a link for you to click. Because look, these properties are amazing, and when you hear some of these prices, I mean, come on, they're worth definitely checking out.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we're good for today, and until next Wednesday, it's going to be amazing. We'll see everybody then. Thank you.
See you next week.